Now, what do we do when we've got an implant abutment which can swivel around, like for a multi-unit abutment, where we can set the angle at a random point, so we don't rely on an angled abutment itself. Now, if we have an angled abutment, we know that the x, y, and z coordinates have been set according to our scan bodies. So if our scan bodies has a little anti-rotation wedge in it, we know which the x and y axis is, and all we need to do is go in the, say, y axis 15 degrees or whatever, or in the x axis, and we know that the angle would be correct there. So, but if we don't have that, if we've got a multi-unit abutment which actually turns on the top of the implant head, then that becomes a little bit different, and I'll demonstrate why. I'm going to set this back, and then we're going to briefly create measuring an angle. So let's just go from the top here to the bottom. Now, if you want to do this type of work, you'll see if I look at it from the view, this angle is completely stray from my object. Simply left click on this, and now we're going to drag this with the control key down, and notice how it snaps to exactly where we want it. And that only happens when you select it, control key down, left mouse down, and all the way down to where you want it to be. Then if we want to measure an angle, all we need to do is left click over here and move this angle like that. Okay. Again, I want this to be exactly on that point. So taking it, control and drag it, and it'll snap exactly to where I want it to be. So this is a good indication. So this is 180 degrees, which is straight. This being 90 degrees, if you put the angle this way, it would be 90 degrees. Now, what happens if we change this? So just assuming we want to change this to 20, and we want to change it also to 20. Now, my assumption was that, okay, this angle would be 20 degrees because it's 20 in the x and 20y, but it's not. So if I take this point and I snap it to there, we're looking at a degree of almost 30 degrees. So it's got nothing to do with that. Now, how do we control this? So I think my best bet is to make sure that we put this on active element, which means that it's going to rotate around the point of origin. Now what I can do is I can look at it from any point of view. Say I look at it from this front point of view, and I go R20, which means it's tilted at 20 degrees from my point of view. Okay, let's see if this is 20. So I'm going to snap this over here, and we can see that's 160, which is 20 degrees. Let's put this to perspective with an actual hybrid. Also, we can see there's no 20 in the slider bars at all. Okay, I'm going to reset this, and I'm going to go Alt B, and then I'm going to look at it from the side like that, because ultimately I want to have it come out of the palatal side. So again, I'm going to go R20. Okay, so select, and then it's tilted it from my perspective, from my view, 20 degrees. Let us have a look and see if this is in fact true. Okay, control like that, and we're looking at 160 degrees. And there's no 20 degrees over here. So this is probably the best way to analyze it and get your angles correct. Okay, bye.